Hello guys, how are you? It's 12:50 here. I had a good night's sleep and I primed the plane, the swordfish, yesterday before going to bed. You cannot see because it's white also, but I had filled the gaps here, here, here. On the wings, this part isn't still primed, but as you can see, it's filled here. These floaters are without any kind of gaps at all. The torpedo here. Now I am finishing with this applicator. I highly recommend this one. I found this one on my shop. It was the last one. The box had arrived on that day, and when I arrived there was only this one. This has an applicator which on the root of the wings, when you glue the wings, that little, angle, sometimes with the ordinary putty you can obviously get there. You dilute the putty, but the filler, but with this applicator sometimes it's just all you need is to apply it to the root of the wing and it kind of takes the shape of it. Sometimes you just, believe me when I say this, sometimes you just don't even need to sand. If you apply this correctly, the way you're going to apply the filler, it's going to create a small round filler gap, and it's going to fill the crack and the seam line. This is fantastic. And now I'm finishing on here on the root of the wings. As you can see, there are some gaps, so why not? I would be a bad modeler if I wouldn't do that, so I don't want to be a bad modeler. There is a gap here, as you can see. First of all, I want to thank you all for accompanying me yesterday on my build, on this build, and for all the feedback. I I know that sometimes I get carried away, but it was not the wine. It was me, actually. I was in a good mood, so that's not bad at all, right? So, okay. Now, we've primed this, and let's apply here something that I like a lot, and it's very, very useful. This is Mr. Surfacer 1000. There are Mr. Surfacer 500, 1000, and 1200. This one is the medium one. It's intermediate one. I use them to. You saw it on my videos. These gaps, sometimes the filler fills the gap, but if you paint, sometimes you can notice slight lighting corrections. So I'm not a rivet counter, but I do like my models. So I apply this to the surface because basically what this is liquid plastic with very powerful thinner, or and it's going to not only to cover that little seam line, but it's going to smooth the surface also. This can be also used as a primer. It's one of the best primers there is, actually, but it's very expensive. I wouldn't even give you that advice, because the 500 is used basically. It's very thick. There are three kinds of grades because it's the thickness of each one. The 500, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, I'm just talking, I think it's what I'm saying, okay? But if I'm wrong, tell me, please. The 500 is the thickest, this is the intermediate one, and the 100 2000 it's the more liquid one. The 500, for instance, if you're doing turrets, a Sherman turret, for instance, usually on good models they bring some texture, but not all models bring that iron texture, that roughness. If you place the 500, if you apply the 500 on that turret after dry and you sand a little bit, it will have that roughness. It's fantastic. Also, to cover gaps, consider gaps or seam lines. It's very thick, so it tends to stays at the surface. This one is more intermediate one. I like this one. Enough chit chat. Let's get a brush, an old brush, because afterwards it's useless. You can clean it, it will hang for a few days, few users, but it's very corrosive. So let's find here an old one. Well, I don't know. Old brush. Maybe not an old brush, but a new one, maybe. This one. I don't like to use new ones. Material is expensive as it is, so. But okay, you apply this smoothly, okay. I think I'm going to, afterwards, I think I'm going to try and smooth this primer, but maybe not. Maybe not. This smell is very intense. But this stuff is great. If you ever use it, just give me your opinion, because this stuff is great. I advise you only to use this on areas where the seam lines are noticeable. This, if you apply this directly to the plastic without no primer at all, or if you apply this and don't prime it on top of it, again, because that's what's going to happen, the plastic will go glitter, and even if you paint, you will be able to notice that little Mr. Surfacer application that you did. So beware with that, okay? Here it is. Here it is. Okay. This step is done. I'm going to upload this video. See you soon.